Hello, everyone. How are y'all doing? I am excited. So, we are getting ready to start this live. I hope everyone is doing safe and well during this quarantine that we're in. Y'all just give me 1 minute. Hold on 1 second. 1 second, guys. Okay, perfect. Okay, so I'm glad y'all joined me tonight. I know I made a post yesterday talking about guns and butter, steak and potatoes, and things like that. So I told y'all I wanted to have an interview with a couple of young ladies. The first one that I want to bring to the line is Miss Arian Raxter. She is my sponsor and my director. She's out of Shreveport, Louisiana, and she's actually the first director to come out of Shreveport, Louisiana. And again, like I said, she's a two-star, which means that she has helped over 500 families position themselves into financial freedom and things like that. She's also a mother of two daughters, and she works this business on a part-time basis. And what I love about that is that the income that she has received from working this on a part-time basis, it actually um, generates her more income than it does her full-time job. So I'm going to bring Director Arian Raxter to the line. Director Raxter, can you hear me this evening?
I can hear you loud and clear. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you? I like your hair. It's pretty.
Thank you, girl. I just got it done, girl. I just got it done.
Jealous. Just jealous.
Yes, I had to go see my boo this evening. So thank you for joining me today.
Of course.
Thank you. The next lady that I want to introduce is she is actually the reason for the season why Arian and myself are both here. So let me not just ignore that. She is our three-star director out of Atlanta, Georgia, out of the A. Um, She is a three-star director. She is a wife, a mother, an Oma. And let me tell y'all, she's an Oma. And let me just tell y'all, out of 57,000 reps that we have in this organization that we are in, ladies and gentlemen, can I tell you that she is number 75 out of all of those 57,000 representatives that we have in this organization. And she is also, y'all see this? Y'all know what that means. That means money. She is a six-figure income earner. So I would like to introduce Miss Lynn Hendricks, Director Hendricks, to the line. Hello.
Hey there, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am fantastic. Doing fantastic. I'm excited and I'm honored that you asked me to be on here. So thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for taking the time to, sit here and chat with me, chat with us for a little while during this quarantine. You know what? I figure they might as well, because even though, the people are trying to open up these cities, we're not going nowhere. We're going to stay
Super
inside.
Your hair is looking so fly, though. I have to say that. I literally ran upstairs and was like, let me not look like I've been in quarantine for.
Yeah, we can't do that. We can't look like we've been in quarantine.
I didn't have the benefit of having a true professional, though. Like you look like
I look like I just came from the shop. Shout out to my stylist, Cynthia, Hair by You and I. That's my sugar pie. I got to get to her. Got to get to her. But I want to go ahead and get this started because, as I did tell you all, I do have directors on live with me, and they are very busy ladies. So the first question that I have is actually for both of you all. And Arian, I'll start with you first. Can you just tell the viewers a little bit about yourself and, what life was like before you became an entrepreneur, and then how did you get into being a network marketer in this industry?
Yeah. So 3 years ago, three, four, three, 3 years ago, 3 years ago, I was engaged to be married, right? So
Mhm.
I was really excited, and was looking for ways to supplement my income. 3 years ago, I was an executive director for a nonprofit and literally living from check to check. All my bills were paid, but
Mhm.
that extra to go get your hair done during a quarantine or things like that, I didn't have that. Like I'm over here looking like a Rasta. It's crazy.
Yeah,
But
man.
no, but 3 years
But
ago,
you cute though.
thank you. But no, I 3 years ago, I was living from check to check. And
A
I
lot
was
of
about
people
to get
are.
married, and I was on Facebook like we are today. I was on
Mhm.
Facebook, and I was in this group where a young lady shared with me how she has a way, or she's found a way to supplement my income without it taking away from what I was doing. So I was like, okay, here's this random stranger. I don't know if she's sketch crazy. I don't know, but hey, why not? She piqued my interest. So
Correct.
we had a conversation, and literally that was all it took. What we're going to talk about this afternoon isn't rocket science.
Mhm.
So when she shared the information with me that I could literally get paid from what I was doing anyway, what I was going to do anyway. Remember, I was getting married. I wanted to plan my honeymoon. So I knew that, it was just a matter of time. I was going to go somewhere. Why would I not monetize that? And she shared that information with me. And I have been singing this phrase that pays for the past 3 years, that she has literally changed my life from a conversation from a complete stranger on Facebook.
Absolutely.
The world will never know how much I've learned from that young lady. So before this business, I was good, but I was used to traditionally getting ahead, traditionally paying my bills, living a check to check. But then after that, it was
Working
more
at
like,
9 to 5.
yeah, but after that, it was just a whole new world, literally.
Mhm.
And it has been.
Okay, that's awesome, awesome. Good stuff. And so I'll go down to you, Director Hendricks. How did what was life before you became an entrepreneur and got into the network marketing industry? How did you get into that?
So my story is similar to, I think, a lot of people's. I was a single mom for years. And I struggled. I had that single mom struggle, like Erin was talking about, living paycheck to paycheck. And really, I went through a period of time when I got laid off, and it took me a really long time to find another job. And I don't know if anybody has ever, gone through this before.
Well, we're kind of experiencing that now with this quarantine.
Well, no, what I mean is, like, when I say rock bottom, I'm talking utilities shut off, and
Mm,
you know what I'm saying, coming home and you're like, oh, the light bill, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
you're trying to rob Peter to pay Paul and all 12 disciples, like it really,
Yeah.
it was like one of those things, and I went through all of my savings, lost my home, went through foreclosure,
Mm,
repossession, bankruptcy, homelessness with 2 kids.
wow.
And so all of that, it puts you in the mind frame. Like, and I had always worked. I had been working since I was 16. And it's like, I've been working all these years.
Correct.
How is it that this is where
How am I still, living paycheck to paycheck and broke and
like,
going through these
and
things
never
and
getting
robbing Peter to pay Paul?
something has to change, and I always knew that there had to be something different. I just didn't know what the different was. I didn't know what I could do differently. And a girlfriend of mine who we've been friends since the first grade, she
Mhm.
introduced this to me. And I'll tell you, when she first introduced it to me, Anita, I was like, absolutely not.
And I think that's how a lot of people are. Like, I'm not going to do that. I don't want to talk to these people.
That's how
I'm
you
not
were,
trying to buy
Anita.
a whole bunch of products. I don't want to sell anything to anybody. Leave me alone. I think
That's
that's
how
how a
you.
lot of.
That's how you were, Anita. By the way, but okay.
I was like, absolutely. I was like,
But that's
absolutely
growth.
not.
That is growth.
But can I tell you, at some point you have to recognize that you can't be broke and skeptical all at the
Exactly.
same time. It
That
In
just
part.
order for things to change, you have to change. You
you
cannot remain the same.
absolutely.
And so with that, how you said, you have to change your mindset and things like that. Erin, I'll go back up to you. What was your mindset about, network marketing and multi-level, marketing, MLMs as people call them? What was your mindset of that before you got into Planet Marketing?
I was ignorant, to be honest with you, completely ignorant. I knew it was such a thing. I had friends who, prior to this company, I had never been in network marketing, but I was familiar with it. So I'm familiar with Mary Kay, right? I'm familiar with a lot of multi-level marketing. I just didn't think that was my thing. Like I knew I could do it, but I was like, even when Lynn introduced this business to me, I was like, this is cute. I could do all that, but I'm really not here for all that. I just wanted to get a discount on my honeymoon and make some money for this wedding. And that's all I wanted. So to hear, to hear Lynn say how, how it goes, she wasn't interested. I wasn't either. But again, thanks be to God, when your mind is open.
So what is it that kind of changed your mindset to go, okay, yeah, this is cute, yada, yada, yada. How did you actually start, going forward and like, okay, I'm going to really start to, push this thing and just change your mindset about it?
So what changed was literally when Lynn had the conversation about me joining this business. I knew I wanted to do it and I knew I could do it, but I didn't have the money. So when fast forward to me getting the money and I joined.
That's a lot of people's issue.
Fast forward, that was my story. So fast forward to me getting paying for, joining and enrolling and investing in my business. I remember to this day, I don't even know if she knows this, but I remember to this day that she was like, as long as you remain coachable, teachable, and allow me to help you, your success will be inevitable. And I was like, in my mind, I'm like, inevitable? Well, let's go ahead and try it out. So for me, all I did, literally, I swear, all I did was listen to what she told me. Because she didn't tell me to do anything illegal. She didn't tell me to do anything immoral. So my thoughts were, if she wants me to do A, B, C, and D, I can do A, B, C, and D. And if I do that, I can get X, Y, Z / seven streams of income. I'm down.
Exactly. It's like, what if I did this that will bring me this? You know what I mean? People have to have an open mindset, about that kind of thing. And, a lot of people closed fist, nothing's coming in and nothing's coming out. If you have a closed fist.
You know what, Anita, the thing that I realized though is at some point you have to realize if you've been working, some people 10, 20, 30 years, whether it's different companies, the same company, doesn't matter. You've been working 10, 20, 30 years, and you still cannot put your hands on $200.
Yes.
So the fact that she said, she didn't have the $200, and there's no shame in that, right? Because I just told you my story. I've been there.
Correct.
But at some point, we have to realize that doesn't even make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense.
All these years, and I can't put my hand on $200 to do something that could.
Correct. And we've been working since we're 16 years old. We're in corporate America, living check to like nobody wants to do that anymore. Nobody wants to have to go to the line and be like, hold on, let me check my Wells Fargo account and see if I can pay for these groceries going through that. Things just have to change. Right. And so, And so, Lynn, I'll ask you this next question. Just because Erin was talking about her mindset about the MLMs and the network marketing and things like that, I'll ask you this question. How do you address the stigma or, the negative perception that a lot of people have about network marketings and MLMs and them being, pyramid schemes and all of those things? How do you address that?
So, most people can't explain to me what a pyramid is. When someone says, that seems like a pyramid. And I say, well, what's a pyramid? Right. And then they kind of stumble and stutter. And most people can't explain that. And I think really what it is most people don't understand it. But if you think all that we have is a distribution system, right? Coca-Cola has a distribution system. Mm-hmm. They sell more Cokes because they have more outlets, right? Whether it's in vending machines, whether it's in the KFC or the Ruth Chris restaurant, wherever it is, they have more outlets. So they sell more Coca-Cola. And we have a travel business and a marketing company that paired together, and we sell more travel because we have more travel agents.
Correct.
Right. Oh, yeah. Same with a real estate brokerage, right? if you have more agents in your office selling houses, then you can bring in more money into that agency. More houses sold if you have more agents, right? And I know, like, when I used to sell real estate some years ago, every time I sold a house, my broker took part of that commission. So when some people are like, you know, they feel like, well, you know, this person's making money off of you. No, we're making money with you.
Correct.
Nobody's making.
That's the thing. We're not making any money off of anybody. We don't take whatever you make, you keep.
Right.
It's a win-win. It's not like the crab in the bucket. Nobody's taking anything away from you. Nobody's holding you down. The work that you put into it is what you will get out of it. And so, you know, that's one thing
Arian said, which, you know, she said she was ignorant. And I think that's really what it is that most people, they just are not, they're not familiar with the business model. They're not, haven't been educated on the business model. I know I definitely wasn't, right? You know, when my girlfriend came, I was like, I ain't doing that. I thought the people who got in first, that's who's gonna make some money.
Yeah. And I think that's what a lot of people think, like, you're not going to be able to catch up to those people. Exactly. Quite frankly, now, like I said, this is not quit your job day, but I'm just going to put it out there. You know, working for these businesses, that's the pyramid.
It's so funny. It's so funny about the whole quit your job. Like, no, this is not quit your job day.
Absolutely not.
But you could. But you could.
I did.
But you could. Exactly.
Right down there.
I know people who have, right? But you could.
But no, and it really is. It's more about giving people options.
Right.
I love to hear the stories of the people who are telling me that, you know what, I can pay all my bills.
Yeah.
I have to just put something on it.
Correct.
Right. I don't have to call and make payment plans.
Payment arrangements and all of those things. Yeah.
Arrangements and all that. I can actually pay my bills. And that's really what it is. Like the people who are making 6 or 7 figures, that's great. I think it's awesome. But I'm so more excited when I hear about the person that's making an additional $500 a month.
Exactly. And that $500, guys, you'd be surprised with just that extra $500 a month coming into your household. You'd be surprised what that could do, especially nowadays with this quarantine, with all these kids are home, they're eating up all the food, the light bill's going up. Because I looked at my light bill the other day, I was like, wait a minute now, what is really going on here? Right. But you'd just be surprised how that could just actually save a household from, you know, losing everything.
I'll tell you guys a true story. I'll tell you guys something that happened just yesterday.
Okay.
So, went to the grocery store to get groceries, make groceries, $300 worth of groceries, right? Can I tell you, just 3 years ago, that wouldn't have been my story. I would have had to get the milk, eggs, and cheese this week, this paycheck, and the bread, and the pick 5, the meat, $20 pack. That was just me 3 years ago. And yesterday, the total is $336. Here you go.
You had to tell your kids, we can get
I was ready for it.
Arian, you had to tell your kids, we can get the peanut butter this week, we'll get the jelly next week.
Yeah.
Don't eat it all.
And we'll get the bread the week after that.
Exactly. And that's just the thing we're trying to get people to, is that financial freedom again. So like I said, we don't have to look at our mobile apps when we're in the line, or, okay, can you put this back because I don't have enough money to pay for that? Right. Or, you be able to tell your children, you won't have to tell them no. We can only get one box of cereal versus everybody go get whatever cereal they want. Or, we can put you in these activities because, mommy or daddy has that extra money to do these things. You know what I mean? So that's what
I said, or telling your kids you don't need that. And it's not that they don't need it, it's that you can't afford it.
You just can't afford it and you don't have it.
I remember all those times, they would ask for things. I'd be like, you don't need that. It wasn't that they didn't need it. It was that I couldn't afford it. We're asking our kids to be A and B students, and we're being D and F parents.
Correct. Absolutely. Absolutely. And so, what I'll just go and segue into that is, about, and I think we kind of already talked about, the income and Arian, like I said, for you, working this on a part-time basis, this has actually, surpassed your full-time 9-to-5 job, working this business on a part-time basis.
We did that at the same time. That's so cute.
I love hearing that.
Boy.
I love hearing that.
And you know, it helped you, you know, like you said, you got out of a relationship, and it also helped you to, you know, that financial stability that you had with this, you were able to buy it, to get a home for you and your daughters.
And I'm working on home number 2, like right now. This is so crazy. But
I love it.
Real
I love
deal.
it.
And what's interesting, Anita, and I, you know, when people share my story with people of how my income has success, my plan A, what's fascinating about that is my plan B, which is, you know, what we're talking about. I'm not having to go clock in somewhere else. I don't have to go up. I'm not on the first line of defense. You know, I'm not an essential worker, you know, going and, you know, healing corona. Like, I'm not doing any of that. I'm literally just on wherever I have the internet. I
Correct.
am in business. You know what I mean? Today, I literally, right before we just got on this live, I got an alert saying JCPenney just filed bankruptcy, like just 5 seconds ago. Just got that. There's a, you know, I'm in Louisiana. We have a lot of riverboat casinos. There's a casino that just went bankrupt because the casinos have been down since, you know, this has been going on. So I said that to say, if I was a car dealer, or if I was a beverage, if I was a cocktail waitress, or if I worked in a hotel, if I worked in these entities where they're closed and filing bankruptcy, if I worked in soft lines at JCPenney, right? Versus, I was sharing with Lynn, actually, we, in this business, you know, we get paid a lot of ways. And one of the checks I received has been the largest one I've ever received in history. In my business of being, my history of being in business. So that's fascinating with this pandemic going on. I received one of the largest checks I've ever received during a pandemic, not from my full-time job.
That's awesome. That is awesome. I love it. I love it. And that's what I want people to get to understand is that, you know, we have residual bills, we have multiple kids, and so we need multiple streams of income, residual income coming in, so, you know, leveraged income and things like that. And
so, the other thing I just want to say, like, I love all of what Arian just said, but I also just want to caveat to that and say that, you know, as much as I love the fact that, you know, we see people being able to earn income, I also love the fact that we see families coming together and creating experiences.
Yeah.
Right. Because there are people on the team that I know, there's some folks on the team that have never flown before. They're getting on their first airplane ride. There are folks who are taking kids to Disney for the first time. There are people going on cruises for the first time.
And that's why
those things that they couldn't do before. And I know my kids, they may not remember like a lot of the material gifts that they got at different Christmases or that sort of stuff, but they absolutely remember when they went to Disney World.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? They remember when they went to their first Chicago Bulls game during, you know, when they were winning their championships, you know, that sort of stuff. They remember those experiences.
And so, exactly. And so that's what I, you know, like I said, the topic yesterday, you know, you have the guns and the butter, the steak and the potatoes. You know, yes, the marketing side is the guns. The marketing side is the steak. That's our bread. That's the bulk. But you also, it's not just travel. The travel is the butter. The travel is the potatoes. You know, it allows people to, you know, go to places and experience things with their, you know, with their friends and families that they never thought that they would have the opportunity to experience. You know, and of course you can save money and make money and things like that. So like I said, that's the benefit, but it's just, it's bigger than travel. And so I'm gonna ask both of you ladies, like, what is the culture like within our industry of network marketing here at Planet? What is the culture like?
So I just said, oh look, I'm like, so I just said how this lady that's trying to beat me to talk changed my life, right? I kid you not. Our first conversation, and it's crazy how we're crazier now, our relationship, but our first conversation, literally, I felt like she was somebody that a complete stranger. I felt like it was somebody that had my best interest at heart, who genuinely wanted to see me win. Crazy. And with that, she introduced me to her business partners and her mentors who were like, you good with her? that means you're good. Like, and not even just people she introduced me to. This culture, the business that we're in, we are literally like a family. Every
Yes.
event that we have, I feel like I'm at a family reunion. I'm gonna see Uncle Junebug, who just so happens to be a 6-figure income earner with some, with some Gucci or some Louis Vuitton on, or I may see, Auntie.
Absolutely. You
I
gotta
mean? I may see Auntie Eileen over here, Auntie JP over here getting out their Range Rover. But they have a lot of success, but they
yes.
treat you like, here's what I did to get to this success.
The
This
culture
is a culture
is
that will
amazing.
really give you a hand up, not a hand out. They
Exactly.
teach you how to fish, not just give you the fish. And I love
Exactly. And I love
that.
the culture, because I remember one time here at a meeting we had, again, you speaking about, being a family and everybody just kind of knowing everybody. I remember Mr. Bradley was here, and I introduced myself to him, and he was like, "Hey, whose team are you a part of?" This is before you became director, and I was like, "I'm with Lynn Hendricks." He was like, "Oh, you with Lynn? Stick by her, because she a trailblazer. She's I was just so excited because we're a family and we're a culture, and everybody knows everybody, and we're just here to help and uplift everybody. And so, Lynn, let me get your take on the culture of the industry.
Well, it's interesting because I told you I was not going to do the business, right? And so I ultimately decided to do it because I wanted to travel. That's how I called my girlfriend up, and I was like, I found out that she had gone to a resort and paid less than half of what my husband and I had paid 2 years prior. So I was like, okay, sign me up today, right? So we got started, but I said to her, don't call me about no conference calls, no meetings. I'm not doing that.
I had that mindset. You had that mindset.
I wasn't doing any of that. Well, I ended up getting a call from a gentleman who I did not know at the time, but he's one of our coaches, Mr. Gregory Scott. And he said, I want to talk to you about the marketing. And I said, I'm not doing the marketing. And he goes, ma'am, you have about 4 people on your team. Because by this point, some of my friends and family, they wanted to travel too. In my mind, I wasn't growing a team. And he said, there's an event coming up in Atlanta, and can you go to this event? It was the very first time we had that I had been to a Super Saturday, because I wasn't going to any events. I wasn't getting on calls. I wasn't going to events.
Correct.
And I met so many different people, leaders. I met our founder, and I'll tell you, from the stage, one of the things I heard him saying was, I don't care if you're making $20,000 a month, you should not have a $20,000 a month lifestyle. Just because you're making it doesn't mean you have to spend it.
Exactly. That's a lot of people's
and
issue.
I heard that from the stage: make it, save it, invest it. Do not drive around in your kids' college education. Let the Bentley dealer wait, right? All those things. And I had been invited to different network marketing companies, their events before, and it was always the rah-rah, and it was about the bling and the Bentleys, and it was superficial. And this one was so heart-focused and heart-centered, and that was what I felt. It was the camaraderie. It was the connectivity that I could feel.
Correct. Absolutely.
In the room. And then the last thing I would say is that one of the things I heard our founder say was, even though technically you may be on different teams, if someone needs help, you will help them, because we are one team. And that was the other thing that I felt. No matter who it was that I went to, we would have no financial attachment, but everyone was working, moving in the same direction.
Correct.
Connected to help each person get to whatever their next goal was. And I have never been a part of anything like that before.
Correct. Awesome. I love it. So like I said, the culture is just simply amazing, and I've enjoyed my experience, because listen, I'm trying to position myself around the 6 figures, Miss Lynn Hendricks, because I tell y'all that black tie event in Atlanta.
Yes.
I got all dressed up. I was like, wait a minute now, hold on. I was like, who is that?
I'm a little jealous. I didn't.
You should be. You should be. You should be. I mean, my feelings are a little hurt about Eagle Weekend, because Eagle Weekend is always on the anniversary of when I started, and Rona just came and tore it all up to nothing.
Are you talking about the yacht party that we go to every year?
Yes, I'm talking about the all white yacht party that we go to.
Oh,
We do business real quick and then we play guns
I
and
love the
butter.
yacht. I
Exactly.
love the yacht. We were supposed to go to the one, and I hate that, of course, Corona is Corona, but that's the beautiful thing about this business. Mr. Bradley, which is the chairman and CEO of this company, he is all about, sharing and giving ordinary people like you and I extraordinary lives.
Exactly.
Both our,
Extraordinary. Things
stretching
that you
our
just
mindset.
wouldn't think that, like, I never thought I would be, going on a yacht and doing different things that I've been able to do while in this industry. And so with that, I'll ask both of y'all, how has your journey been while being in the industry? And, how do you stay motivated? Because, just like anything, life happens. How do you stay motivated to keep going, within the industry? And especially with all that's going on right now, people think, oh, how y'all doing over there? Y'all okay?
Yeah.
So I guess for me, one of the things that I'll say, and it's so funny that you asked that question now, our founder's birthday was yesterday, right?
Mhm.
And I sent him a text today because I said I didn't want to get caught up in the sea of messages he was getting yesterday. I wanted him to feel special today. So I sent him that message today. And, after he said, thank you, he asked me, how was I? And I told him that I was so fantastic because thanks to him, my husband, my family, and we were prepared for this, never knowing that we even needed to be prepared for this.
Correct.
Right? Like 3 years ago, I started in this business, in this company, or almost 4 years ago now. And I got started kicking and screaming, right? Not even wanting to do it. And then when I ultimately started working, the business, what I understand now is that it set me up for anything to come, to be able to create our own economy.
Absolutely.
My husband and I, we weren't, and this is no judgment for anyone who does, need to rely on stimulus payments or unemployment or any of that, because I understand what's going on. I'm just so grateful and thankful and humbled by the fact that that's not the position. And there was a time when that would have been the position I was in.
Correct.
Right? Because you hear all the time, the best time to get your plan B is while you still have a plan A. And back then, I would hear those sorts of things, but I never adhered to it because I never thought it was going to be me. It was
like, you're not talking to me.
Somebody else.
Exactly.
And this time, I was like, you know what? I have something here. And if I see other people having success, I'm the type of person, I'm like, oh, if Anita can do it, I know I can do it.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
If Arian can do it, I know I can do it.
Come on, wait a minute. Aaron, who did that? Let me tell you something.
Right.
I know Aaron. We went to Texas Southern University together. We were in the ocean of soul together.
So when I saw all the people that were having success in various degrees of success, right? Because success is relative. Yes. Whatever it is, whether it's traveling more, traveling better, traveling for less, supplementing their income, bringing in, a large amount of income, whatever that is, both ends of the spectrum. When I saw that, I realized I could have that too.
Exactly.
And so now, because we're positioned, that's what fuels me. And the fact that I know we're going to get on the other side of this. Exactly. The fact that we've gotten on the other side of everything else, we're going to get on the other side of this. And when we get through it and we get on the other side of it, my feeling is always, how do I want to be positioned when we get through it? Do I want to be in a better position when we get through it? Do I want to be prepared? Or do I want to be stuck in the same spot, right?
In the same spot.
And so for anyone who is looking at it, like, now is the time to position yourself, because when we get on the other side of this, the great thing is that for some of us, maybe not everybody, but for some of us, we have a little bit of extra time right now.
Yeah.
Some of us have some extra time. And so we have some extra time too. If we have a new business that we can shorten that learning curve, that we can start learning about that business.
Learning, growing.
other
developing yourself,
now
developing others,
hitting the ground running.
Absolutely. Erin, how about you, hon?
So for me, everything that Lynn said, what I will say that was something that does motivate me is one of the main things that motivates me are my children. Naturally, those are my reasons why. Again, in this business, my why has changed a lot of times. Of course, I was only trying to make some extra coins a couple of years ago. That's turned into, well, I will never rely on a man or a woman to make sure that my children and myself are fed ever. Then that turned into, I want to, more. It's just for me, what continues to drive me, I guess, is my next level of success.
Correct.
I think it is beautiful that I've reached this level of success, and I thank God for it.
Absolutely. Because
I know that the person who introduced this business to me in 3 years made 6 figures. Oh, I need to try that now. I got a whole new mission.
Absolutely. And the fact that we can leave a legacy to our family, to our children. If anything happens to us, your family or whoever you leave that to will be able to still receive, the benefits and the monies and things like that you're getting. Is more so if you have a 9 to 5, Lord, when you pass, they're not getting anything of yours. Them checks. We have a new hire. We done forgot about Anita.
Yeah.
And so, my last question to both of y'all, and I'll wrap it up because, again, like I said, I know y'all are busy ladies. What would you say to that person who is looking for something to supplement their income, but they don't know where to start, or they're skeptical, or, I don't really know about that. My mind's not right. I'm not sure.
So I will say travel is not on trial. Travel is not going out of style. And whatever that is, we're not saying that it must be this business, right? Because it's not for everybody, But I will say this: in this pandemic, today in Louisiana opened back up. And I saw a lot of people, outside doing things. But I know, like, when this pandemic is over, because at the end of the day, you have to understand travel hasn't stopped, just slowed down. But let's say when this is like, Lord willing, we find a cure for this pandemic and things are as back to normal as we would like them to be as it relates to travel. For the people who are wondering or on the fence, what's the first thing you're going to do when this is over? Chances are it's going to be travel. So if you know that that's going to be what you and the rest of the world is doing, why would you not monetize it? Up until like this pandemic, I've never seen airports empty. I used to tell people that I've never seen airports empty until, of course, this pandemic. However, you have to know that when this is over again, it's going to be on and popping again. It's going to be flooded and inundated with people. So for those who are skeptical, again, you hear from myself, you hear from Anita, Anita, you love Anita. She loves me and I love Lynn. So we have this whole, trifecta thing going. So we just shared with you guys how, you're not going to be in business for yourself. You're not going to be in business by yourself. You're going to be in business for yourself, but never by yourself, right? We have so many layers and layers of leadership and support in our culture. However, honestly, for those who are skeptical, my thoughts about this, trying to be completely transparent, is, again, as my coach said, you can't be skeptical and broke. And I'm not trying to say that, your family and friends are broke, but for me, I know I didn't want to keep doing the same corporate America thing over and over, expecting something to be better when I wasn't changing anything. That's insanity. Correct. So for me, when for things to change, we must change. So for anybody that's kind of like stuck on the porch waiting to jump off the porch. And particularly with this business, we have like 3 guarantees that are literally fail proof. So for me, if it is this business, you definitely want to get back with Anita. But the best way to learn if this is something you would want to do is to get on the inside and do it.
Correct. Lynn, Director Hendricks.
I guess what I would say is, for somebody who is saying, I want to do it, but I'm scared, or I want to do it, but I don't know if I'll make any money, or I don't know if it'll work. What I would say is, don't operate from a scarcity mindset. You want it. You have to. change your mindset and operate from instead of thinking, what if I don't make any money? Think, how much money can I make?
Exactly. What if I spent $200?
Work. Oh my God. What if this works? Right.
Yes.
Just change that narrative in your own head, because usually that's what it is, right? It's our narrative that we have in our own minds. And so if we change the narrative in our own heads, then you can change the outcome. And so for someone who's sitting there thinking, I want something different, the other thing that I would say is that don't make this a $2 million decision.
Exactly.
It's $200. And, I know there are people watching this, Anita, that have spent $200 on hair, makeup, food, clothes, shoes, right? And they weren't scared about whether or not those shoes worked, whether or not they were going to like the hairstyle. You know what I mean? Like it's $200. And while I get it, I'm not trying to say it lightly as if it's nothing, but we've all spent $200 on things that were never even supposed to yield us income.
Correct.
And so now you have an opportunity to take that same $200
exactly
and turn it into something that could change some things for your family.
Like that blue ring on your finger, that sapphire ring on your finger.
Yeah, like
on her finger.
Like that.
You see how she's starting, Anita?
She said, yeah, like that.
I was just trying to make a point. Y'all
I know, but really, guys, on a serious note, we spend $200 a day, on, matter of fact, you know how we do out here, crab legs.
Over $300 yesterday.
Yeah. Crawfish, crab legs, groceries, going out to drink, going to Specs, getting the sneakers. And like I said, yes, all of that is great. I love it because I just bought 2 sneakers the other day and I got my hair done today. So, all of those things are great. They are.
And that was more than $200, I'm sure.
And the reality is, Anita, we bet on everybody else.
Yeah.
We bet on everybody else. We bet on the government. We bet on our jobs. We bet on everybody else. And at some point, you have to bet on you. You got to bet on you. Like, we can't sit and just rely on other people, on other things to save us. You have got to come to your own rescue.
Because if you rely on other things to save you, they can take it away from you as well. Sure can.
Absolutely.
But, yes. And so, ladies, I want to wrap this up because, again, like I said, I know you all are busy women, directors and things like that. So I truly, truly want to thank you for taking the time out of your evening and, speaking with myself and and talking to the viewers on the live this evening. So you all
thank you.
Your evening. And thank you. I love you and I appreciate both of you all.
And I'm so humbled and grateful that even though my team whooped up on Arian.
Let me tell y'all something.
Last weekend, even though we whooped up on y'all on game night, I am just so thankful and humbled that you still invited me to be here. And you were on Arian's team that you lost that game.
Y'all know cheaters always talk a lot. Y'all know cheaters always talk a lot. They just be talking out the side of their neck.
Such an amazing time
right
for game night, and I was like, oh wow, she's still gonna invite me even though we won.
Y'all didn't win. We won't go to it.
Thank you.
Because you know what, y'all, that's the type of culture that we have here. That is the type of culture that we have.
Y'all don't listen to her. Those are false truths, fake news.
We won.
The game is not over, y'all.
All right.
But I just want to thank y'all again for taking the time out of y'all evening to speak with me. And so again, I thank y'all. I love y'all, and y'all have a good night.
Good night.
Bye. Bye, everybody. Good night.
Wash your hands.
Wash your hands. Sanitize. Bye-bye.